1127, Carly Spotts-Falzone.
Thanks for coming. Oh, no, Kate is the real hero. Anything I did for her. My name is Charlene Strong. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I'm currently the basis of a documentary film entitled For My Wife. Sure. So we met, actually, oh, look at you, not the, sure, sorry. We met, I got roped into this volunteer project, and one of the other volunteers happened to be Kate. And basically I found that when I was with her, I was having a blast, and when I wasn't with her, all I could do was think, what's Kate doing today? And that was the beginning. I don't want to talk about that. In our current political environment, marginalized groups are forced to believe that martyrdom, the physical or metaphorical death for a cause, is the only channel to establish change. The Conversation on October 27th, 2017 explains, these patterns of exploitation persist due to the imposed belief that our death must not be in vain. However, individuals should not be forced to follow these social movement expectations, seeing their loved ones plastered across the news as political pawns. We must allow the deceased to be cherished and remembered by their loved ones, listening to the stories they wish to tell, in order to grant the surviving time to find peace. It Wasn't Enough, a true story by Charlene Strong. I can tell you about Kate, okay? My favorite thing about her is that she's always positive, and I think I just really needed that. Sure, so for example, we used to have these game nights, and one night we had a bunch of friends over and we were playing Taboo, which is this game. You have a word and you're trying to get the other team to guess, and I had my word, and I said, I am often this. And in rapid fire succession, I hear sad, tired, pissed off, angry. My card was clumsy. But I had this revelation, I thought, am I really that miserable? But Kate, her mantra was, be a light, be a flame, be a beacon. And she was. And she made me really happy. Yeah, it was actually about 4 years after we met. And one night we just decided to write down our top 5 core values. Easy enough. So we're revealing them to each other. And she turns around and she goes, number 1, always be kind. And I was like, shit, cause my number 3 is be kind when you can. And she looked at me and she was like, oh honey, but you know, she knew it was just me and it didn't matter. And then she said, Charlene, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And I said, you bet! So we bought this little cottage in the woods, and it was perfect because it had a basement where she could record her audiobooks, which she did quite well, and we were loving it. I mean, I just said I don't want to talk about that. I think anyone who's ever experienced tragedy, who's ever loved anyone, would understand what I went through that day. I was at work, and a really bad storm came into Seattle. I get a call from Kate, and she says, I need you to come home, there's water coming into the basement. So I start running home, and I get another call from her, and she sounds concerned. She says, "How far away are you?" I said, "Sweetie, I'm coming as fast as I can." And she said, "Something's fallen in front of the door, and I can't get out." So I start hauling ass, and I round the corner to our street, and there's whitewater rapids on our sidewalk. And I burst in the front door, and Kate is screaming for me. I mean, she's screaming for me, and I make it to the basement door, and I can hear her right there on the other side. She's right there, and she's saying, Charlene, I need you to be my hero. I need you to be my hero and get me out of here." And I'm screaming, going crazy, trying to figure out how to get her out, right? So I start removing the pins on the door. And I'm able to remove the first pin, and then I get the second pin off, and then I reach underwater, and I can't get the third pin off the door. And then I'm totally underwater, and I realize she's probably totally underwater too, right? So I run upstairs, and I think there's a heater vent in our bedroom, so I can at least just kick off the heater vent to get her head out so she can, and just hold her. But then I realize that's not gonna work, so I run outside, and I'm screaming, and I feel like I'm the only person left on Earth. And then the firefighters finally come, and they cut the entire floor out of our bedroom, and one jumps in, and they find her, and they pull her out, and they got her breathing. And they take her to Harborview. And I'm following them, and I'm trying to get back into the emergency room to see her, and this nurse stops me. And she says, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Charlene, I'm Kate's partner, I need to get back there." And she says, "Well, wait a minute. We need to get someone on the phone who will allow you to be in there." And what I realize she's saying is, "I don't count." And I just kept thinking, what if she dies without me holding her hand? What if she dies without me telling her I love her? And we finally got Kate's sister on the phone, but by the time I got to Kate, and sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in that room. And I said to the nurse, "I need you to take the intubation tube out. No, I need you to take the intubation tube out now. You don't understand. I need to kiss her goodbye. I need..." Okay. Come back. Come back. I need you. What did I do? yeah, right. No, of course I had to do something. But I can't just let my wife's death go to waste, can I? No, I'm not allowed to just mourn. I'm not allowed to grieve, right? We have to do something. But you're right. I talked to the Senate, and I said something's got to change, and they passed a few laws, but clearly it wasn't enough. You see, it'll never be enough.